What's up guys, today's video is on the top 10 best USB-C hubs to date. Through extensive research and testing I've put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers. We have considered their product quality, features, and values when narrowing down the top choices possible. If you want more information and update pricing on the products mentioned, check these links in the description box below. Number 1. Anker 7-in-1 USB-C Hub, A83460A2. Can a USB-C hub feel elegant? This one does. Anker's 7-in-1 USB-C hub feels surprisingly weighty, 3.5 ounces, with a premium metallic, aluminum and polycarbonate, sheen. It's also a bit more expensive than its rivals. Anker's hub was among the coolest we've tested under load, at about 87 degrees. Overall, Anker's hub is well designed, with adequate spacing between the two 5 gigabits per second USB-A ports. There's also a 5 gigabits per second USB-C connection for data, plus a second USB-C port for power input at up to 85 watts rated. An HDMI port allows for 4K/30Hz video or 1080p/60Hz video to a single external display, standard for the category. Ethernet is excluded, however, so you'll need to use Wi-Fi instead. Cord length is about 8.5 inches, above the standard 6-inch length. Anker's hub was among the fastest we tested to deliver data under load, including simultaneous data transfer between USB-A ports while the SD ports were active. The hub offers an 18-month warranty, and it even ships with a carrying pouch. Number 2. Yeolibo 9-in-1 USB-C Hub, RU9A. Yeolibo may not be a name you recognize, but this USB-C hub is impressively detailed, with a small but extremely informative manual, clearly labeled ports, and well-rounded functionality. This hub offers 3 USB 3.0, 5 gigabits per second, Type A ports, 1 USB 2.0 Type A port, a USB-C, 5 gigabits per second, port, a USB-C PD charging port rated at 100 watts of input power, and an HDMI port. There are also microSD and SD slots capable of SDXC cards up to 2 TB and SDR25, 25 MB per second, data rates. There's no Ethernet connection. The USB-C cable measures a comfortable 6 inches, though the connector at the end was a little stiff and took some fiddling to insert. We didn't have a 100 watts USB-C charger on hand to test, but the hub accepted 62.5 watts from our 65 watts USB-C charger. It stayed cool throughout. The hub played back protected content via its HDMI port, as expected, but dropped more frames than we hoped for when playing back 4K content over YouTube. Only 4K 30 resolutions are supported, but that's not unusual. Number 3. Lention USB-C Hub with 4K output, CBC35SH. Lention's CBC35SH feels a little cheap out of the box, with a bit of a rattle that indicates a corner or two were cut in the construction. It worked flawlessly, however. This USB-C hub is slightly wider than most, with a power input rated at 60 watts next to a HDMI 1.2 input, allowing 4K resolution on an external display, at 60 Hz, that allows protected content to be played back with no problems. The entire hub remained cool, even with a charger attached. In addition to the USB-C input port and HDMI output, there are 4 5 gigabits per second USB Type A ports, and that's it. No microSD slots, Ethernet, or audio connections. We would have liked to see the latter as an option for those who need it. But connecting a mouse and keyboard, as well as transferring data over the ports, worked well within the constraints of the USB-C connection. Number 4. Lasuney Triple Display USB Type-C Hub. Lasuney's 10-in-1 hub, 2 USB 3.0 ports, 2 USB 2.0 ports, 2 HDMI 1.2 ports, 4K at 30 Hz, DisplayPort Gigabit Ethernet, microSD/SD, USB-C power input, offers a lot for your money, including an unusual mix of not one, but two HDMI ports, and even a display port. Thanks to Ethernet support, the hub can replace many of your wired connections. Power input is rated at 100 watts in, with about 87 watts available to the laptop. But the USB-C bus the hub runs on top of simply won't support all of the ports being used at once, which is a bit of a gotcha. While we really like the pair of HDMI ports for dual display configurations, the fact is, you'll probably need to limit yourself to a pair of 1080p displays to avoid saturating the bus and slowing down the connection. Customers on Amazon have reported that they only got one to work, probably because the bus itself was saturated. The other problem we found is that the SD card slot is way too slow. It took twice as long to transfer data compared to other hubs we tested. In all fairness, our other disk-to-disk tests took about the same amount of time. Number 5. Cyber Acoustics DS1000 Docking Station. Recent laptops have begun offering a USB-C technology called HBR3 with DSC, which we'll explain more fully in the sections following our recommendations. The bottom line is that the technology offers something similar to the display link technology below, but as an industry standard. In our experience, although the technology is somewhat supported in laptops with 11th gen core processors, it works best in 12th or 13th gen laptops. This slim plastic dock measures a hair over 6 inches wide and about 3 inches deep. It lacks a stand, and warms rather sharply under load. But it packs a pair of HDMI ports on the rear, 4 5 gigabits per second USB-A ports on the back, as well as gigabit Ethernet. The USB-C cable, measuring about 2.5 feet, snakes out from the side of the dock. On the front is another USB Type-A port and a USB-C port, too. The latter USB-C port can be used to charge your smartphone, as it puts out 6.7 watts of charging power, or enough to fast charge a smartphone. Otherwise, this is a powered dock, and it will supply 90 watts of charging power to your laptop, too. Number 6. Plugable USB-C Dual 4K Display Horizontal Docking Station, UD6950PDH. This is our entry for an upgraded display link dock, which has its own pros and cons, slightly more expensive than a USB-C docking station, but more features, too. Plugable's UD6950PDH doesn't allow the bandwidth for the latest HDMI or DisplayPort interfaces, but it preserves what we like about Plugable's docks, 2 pairs of optional DisplayPort and HDMI connections to choose from, as well as 100 watts of charging power to your laptop. One omission, however, is a dedicated charging port for powering a smartphone, or any USB-C port at all. VisionTech's VT7000 includes these, but for a substantial premium. At about $199 MSRP, however, the price is absolutely right for a display link docking station. Just don't forget your smartphone charger. Number 7. RSHTECH USB C Hub Powered 4-Port USB Splitter, RSH516. This RSHTECH RS516 USB-C port splitter uses an unusually long 2-foot cable to split a 5 gigabits per second USB 3.0 input, over USB-C, and divide it among 4 USB 3.0 Type-A ports. It's also uncommon to see those ports controlled by LED-lit button switches, and an optional 5V/2A adapter powering the whole affair. The port splitter takes the 5 gigabits per second input and splits it among the ports, which are only active if the corresponding LED-lit button is depressed. This applies to both power, the hub will charge, though not fast charge phones, and data. Port spacing isn't an issue, and the ABS/aluminum construct handles heat well. The RSHTECH hub wouldn't always identify and connect to a bus-powered SSD, but it found every other device we connected to it. The performance of a powered external hard drive plunged to about 20% when all ports were occupied, but surged to about 67% when the optional power cable was plugged in, which RSHTECH recommends when connected to external storage. That cable, with a proprietary plug, is a pain, and the issues finding our SSD gave us pause. But we really liked how the hub allowed us access to and control of external hard drives, which spin up and down loudly and randomly. Number 8. EZQuest USB-C Hub. For starters, it houses 3 USB-A ports capable of 5 gigabits per second data sharing speeds and power output up to 10 watts. If your laptop supports USB-C charging, there's one power delivery port with pass-through charging up to 85 watts. While that's not as fast as most other options, it will get the job done. The channel doubles as a 5 gigabits per second data transfer medium for a complete Type-C experience. Not every port on the EZQuest Hub is about data transfer and charging, though. The adapter also features an HDMI outlet that supports up to 4K resolution at 30 Hz for high-res screencasting. However, the results may not be as smooth, with the refresh rate not up to the 60 Hz supported by most laptops. You also get microSD and SD card slots and a gigabit Ethernet port with an activity LED. Number 9. Satechi Type-C Pro Mini Adapter. The Satechi Type-C Pro Mini Adapter is the perfect hub for your MacBook, thanks to its excellent selection of ports and flawless design. Made for 2017 to 2021 MacBook Pros and 2018 to 2022 MacBook Airs, the adapter sits flush against the devices. It uses the 2 USB-C ports on the MacBook's left side panel to maintain a sturdy connection to your device. And if you have a 2021 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro, the attachment can be made even firmer thanks to the hub's collapsible dummy audio jack. The mini adapter's selection of ports is well varied. It boasts a USB 4-powered USB-C port of up to 100 watts charging speeds, 40 gigabits per second data transfer speeds, and 5K 60 Hz display output. It also has a regular USB-C and 2 USB-A 3.0 data ports with 5 gigabits per second speeds. Finally, there's an audio port and a gigabit Ethernet port. However, despite the variety, the hub lacks SD/microSD card slots and HDMI ports. While this won't be an issue for 2021 MacBook Pro owners, the same can't be said of those with older MacBooks lacking these extra ports. Number 10. Kingston Nucleum USB-C Hub. This USB-C hub is a little cheaper than our number 1 pick, and yet it ticks a ton of boxes. It has 7 ports in total, and offers pass-through charging via one of the 2 USB-C ones. That will let you to charge your laptop with up to 60 watts of juice. You can also use one of the USB-A slots to charge any older devices. There are slots for both SD and microSD cards, making it a great choice for working photographers. There's a HDMI port to output to a 4K or HD monitor or projector. The aluminum case is sturdy, durable and smart looking. It's small and relatively lightweight, at 120 grams. And the price is fair and affordable. Note, though, that there's no Ethernet port. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe us to get more information and update product review videos.